Welcome back, folks. I'm Frizz, and today I'd like to take some time to talk about how the Psychic class works in Pathfinder 2e, and why I think they're an amazing step in the right direction for spellcasters. Casting spells with nothing more than your thoughts and emotions is a pretty common idea in various types of media, and for good reason, since it's cool as hell. Let's go over it, since Paizo did an amazing job implementing psychic magic into Pathfinder 2e. Alright, so first off, we need to talk about what makes a psychic distinct from other occult spellcasters in Pathfinder 2nd edition. Ultimately, psychics are spellcasters that are specialized in dealing damage and having incredibly powerful focus spells. More than any other casting class in the game, psychics have an amazing selection of focus spells to pick from, and a lot of different ways to increase their damage output. And I'm of the opinion that they are the best choice in the game for a blaster caster. Plus, since so much of their power comes from their focus spells, a psychic is able to last the whole day since they're going to be spending less spell slots for each fight. So, a psychic might be able to last substantially longer in a long adventuring day than another spellcaster that has to use up their high-level spell slots when it really matters. Now, this focus on focus spells does come with the downside that psychics have the least amount of spell slots of any spellcasting class, and they're also a spontaneous spellcaster, meaning that they're locked out of, or rather they're locked in to only having a couple of spells known for each level. This means that psychics are almost always going to be specialists with their spells, rather than having a wide variety of utility spells available. This isn't objectively a downgrade, since having super good focus spells is very good. However, it is a trade-off that you should be aware of before you decide to play a psychic. Before we get into the subclasses that make the psychic so spicy, we should talk about Unleash Psyche and Amps, since those are the unique mechanics that the whole class shares. Simply put, after casting a spell on your previous turn, a psychic can basically go Super Saiyan for a couple of turns, which makes all of their spells do an extra amount of damage equal to double the level of the spell. This is an incredible increase to damage, especially since it applies to cantrips and focus spells, not just spells cast from spell slots. This is one big thing that really helps psychics deal damage. And speaking of focus spells, amps are really interesting. Basically, every psychic has access to a couple of different Psyche cantrips depending on their conscious mind choice. These Psyche cantrips function practically identically to normal cantrips. However, you can also spend a focus spell whenever you cast them to amp them up, making them dramatically more effective. Seriously, some of these amped Psyche cantrips are amazingly strong and are actually just as good, if not better, than spells that use spell slots. Also, as a side note, psychics are the best class in the game when it comes to getting back focus points, so you can use amps more than you'd think. Combining Unleash Psyche and amps can really increase the damage output, though depending on your choices, you might not actually be focusing on damage as a psychic. Just a lot of psychics are going to be focusing on damage. It's not a requirement, just the general trend of the class. Moving on from general features that apply to all psychics, every psychic gets the choice of two different subclasses at level 1 that will vastly differentiate how a psychic plays and how they feel. And those are their subconscious and conscious minds. Your subconscious mind is the more simple of the two of them, and it just determines a couple of things. First off, it determines your key ability score for you, between either charisma or intelligence. Also, you get access to a couple of different Psyche actions. These are actions that you can take while your Psyche is unleashed, which generally complement your spellcasting incredibly well. Plus, they come with some incredible flavor to really just describe how it is that thinking really hard produces spells for you. The other subclass choice for psychics has a lot more meat on its bones, and I literally can't go over everything about these choices since I don't have all day, but I can say that they are all very, very cool. The conscious mind of a psychic represents what type of psychic magic they focus on. You can choose between telekinesis, clairvoyance, energy manipulation, telepathy, turning imagination into reality, and spatial manipulation. Each one gives you 3 different Psyche cantrips, and they're all very good. Some conscious minds, like Oscillating Wave, focus heavily on damage output, while others, like Infinite Eye, are more focused on supporting your allies. Seriously, Paizo knocked it out of the park with the Psychic subclasses, and I can legitimately say that I want to play a Psychic with every single subclass, which is really significant to me because I can't say that about every class in the game. What I think I love the most about the Psychic, though, is the direction that Paizo took when designing it. Psychics feel like a spellcaster that was designed from the ground up for Pathfinder 2nd Edition, rather than simply porting over mechanics from Pathfinder 1st Edition. Amps, Psyche actions, and Unleash Psyche all allow for Psychics to interact with the action economy more than basically every other spellcaster in the game. And you always know that you're playing with a Psychic rather than just a generic occult spellcaster, because they don't just contribute to playing the game by casting occult spells. They have a whole bunch of other stuff that is unique to that class in particular. Not every occult spellcaster can say the same. I really hope that in the future, Paizo keeps on going in this direction for their class design, especially for spellcasters, since, really, the Psychic is incredible. Thanks for watching. I hope everyone is staying safe and warm because it's pretty dang cold out there, if you're living in North America at least. And Merry Christmas Eve and Happy Hanukkah if you celebrate those. And of course, if you're watching this the day it comes out. Psychics are easily my favorite design for a spellcaster in the entirety of 2E, and I really think that Paizo knocked it out of the park with this one. You probably already know that though, considering that you just listened to me talk about it for a bit, huh? Well, what do you think about the Psychic? Have you had the chance to play one? Let me know in a comment down below how terrible my morning voice sounds, and subscribe while you're down there. Regardless, until I see you next, live a wonderful life.